Military vehicles driving plunges players into the heart of a vast, sun-scorched desert landscape, offering a thrilling experience behind the wheel of an impressive array of military machinery. This isn't just about point A to point B. It's a test of skill, precision, and adaptability as you navigate treacherous terrain, overcome challenging obstacles, and outmaneuver hostile forces. Whether you're a seasoned driving game enthusiast or new to the genre, this guide will equip you with the knowledge and strategies to conquer the desert and master the art of military vehicle operation in this exhilarating game. The core appeal of military vehicles driving lies in its realistic portrayal of driving these powerful machines. Each vehicle, from the robust tank to the agile Humvee and the sturdy armored personnel carrier, boasts distinct handling characteristics. Understanding these nuances is paramount to success. The tank, for instance, will offer immense power and resilience, allowing you to smash through certain obstacles, but its slower speed and wider turning radius demand careful planning and execution of maneuvers. The Humvee, on the other hand, provides superior speed and agility, making it ideal for scouting and quick evasive actions, but its lighter armor makes it more vulnerable to enemy encounters. The armored personnel carrier strikes a balance, offering a blend of protection and maneuverability suitable for various situations. Getting to grips with the controls is the first crucial step. While the basic driving mechanics might seem familiar, mastering the subtle differences in each vehicle's response to acceleration, braking, and steering is key. Spend some time experimenting with each vehicle in the open desert, getting a feel for its weight, speed, and turning capabilities. Pay attention to how the terrain affects your vehicle's performance. Sand dunes can significantly impact your speed and traction, while rocky patches require careful navigation to avoid damage or getting stuck. Practice making sharp turns at different speeds to understand the vehicle's limits and how to maintain control. #military vehicles, #driving games, #desert racing. As you venture deeper into the desert, you'll encounter a variety of obstacles designed to test your driving prowess. Towering sand dunes present both a challenge and an opportunity. While they can impede your progress, strategically using their slopes can provide vantage points or allow you to bypass certain areas. Rocks scattered across the landscape demand careful maneuvering to avoid damaging your vehicle's undercarriage or getting stuck. Some obstacles might require a specific type of vehicle to overcome effectively. For example, a tank might be necessary to clear a particularly large roadblock, while a Humvee's speed could be essential for navigating a narrow, winding path. Enemy forces add another layer of complexity and excitement to military vehicles driving. These adversaries will actively try to intercept you, employing various tactics to halt your progress. Understanding their behavior and learning how to evade their attacks is crucial for survival. Observe their movement patterns and try to anticipate their ambushes. Utilize the environment to your advantage, using sand dunes and rock formations as cover. The Humvee's speed and agility are particularly useful for dodging enemy fire and executing quick getaways. However, even the more heavily armored vehicles will need to employ tactical maneuvering to avoid sustained attacks. Sometimes, the best approach is not to engage directly but to use your driving skills to outsmart and outmaneuver your opponents. Learning to perform quick turns, using boost effectively, if available, and understanding the limitations of your vehicle will be vital in these encounters. Exploration is also a significant aspect of military vehicles driving. The vast desert environment is not just a backdrop. It's a playground filled with hidden areas, resources, and challenges. Take the time to explore off the beaten path. You might discover valuable supplies, hidden shortcuts, or unique vantage points that can aid you in your missions. Pay attention to the environment for clues and visual cues that might indicate hidden locations. Some areas might be accessible only with specific types of vehicles, encouraging you to experiment and utilize the strengths of your entire fleet. The sense of discovery adds another layer of engagement to the game, rewarding players who are willing to venture beyond the main routes. Now, let's delve into a comparison with some popular games in the military vehicle and driving simulation genres to understand where military vehicles driving truly shines. Games like World of Tanks and War Thunder offer intense combat focused on armored vehicles, but their gameplay revolves primarily around strategic positioning and aiming rather than the nuanced physics and handling of driving across diverse terrains. While they offer a wide variety of military vehicles, the driving aspect is often secondary to the combat mechanics. On the other hand, games like Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator provide incredibly detailed and realistic driving experiences, but they focus on civilian vehicles and long-haul transportation, lacking the element of military action in dynamic environments with obstacles and enemies. Similarly, off-road driving simulators like Spin Tires or Mudrunner emphasize realistic physics in challenging terrain, but they typically feature civilian trucks and lack the military vehicle variety and the threat of enemy encounters present in military vehicles driving. Military vehicles driving carves its own niche by focusing on the exhilarating experience of driving a diverse range of military vehicles in a dynamic and challenging desert environment. It blends the thrill of high-speed driving with the strategic element of navigating obstacles and evading enemy forces. The game's strength lies in its accessible yet engaging gameplay, offering a more arcade-like experience compared to hardcore simulators while still providing a satisfying sense of realism in vehicle handling and physics. The variety of vehicles, each with its unique characteristics, encourages players to adapt their driving style and strategic approach depending on the mission or challenge at hand. One of the key advantages of military vehicles driving is its focus on the open desert environment. Unlike games with more linear mission structures, this game provides a vast expanse to explore, allowing for emergent gameplay and a greater sense of freedom. The inclusion of enemy forces adds an element of unpredictability and excitement, forcing players to constantly be aware of their surroundings and adapt their strategies on the fly. The combination of challenging terrain, diverse military vehicles, and the presence of hostile elements creates a unique and compelling gameplay loop. Furthermore, the game's realistic graphics and physics engine contribute significantly to the immersive experience. The detailed models of the military vehicles, the realistic depiction of the desert landscape, and the authentic sound effects all work together to make you feel like you're truly behind the wheel of these powerful machines. The roar of the engines, the crunch of tires on the sand, and the sounds of distant gunfire all add to the tension and excitement of the gameplay. To truly excel in military vehicles driving, consider the following advanced tips and strategies. Mastering vehicle-specific handling. Tanks. Utilize the tank's robust armor to your advantage when facing direct enemy fire. Practice using the tracks to perform pivot turns for quick changes in direction in tight spaces. Be mindful of the tank's slower speed and plan your routes accordingly, avoiding areas that require high agility. Learn to angle your armor effectively to deflect enemy shots. Armored Personnel Carriers, APCs. The APC offers a good balance of speed and protection. Use its maneuverability to flank enemies or to quickly transport your squad, if the game features squad mechanics. Be aware that while it offers more protection than a Humvee, it's still vulnerable to concentrated fire. Practice driving defensively, utilizing cover whenever possible. Humvees. The Humvee's speed and agility are its greatest assets. Use it for scouting ahead, quickly traversing the map, and evading enemy attacks. Its lower armor means you should avoid direct confrontations. Practice high-speed cornering and learn to use the environment to break line of sight with pursuing enemies. Navigating the desert terrain. Sand dunes. Approach sand dunes at a moderate speed and maintain momentum to avoid getting bogged down. When ascending, try to take a direct route. When descending, control your speed to prevent losing control. Use the crests of dunes for reconnaissance or as temporary cover. Rocky areas. Navigate rocky terrain slowly and carefully to avoid damaging your vehicle's suspension or getting stuck. Choose the smoothest path possible and avoid sharp turns at high speeds. Heavier vehicles like tanks are generally better at traversing rocky areas than lighter vehicles. Open sand. Be aware that driving on open sand can reduce your speed and traction, especially for heavier vehicles. Try to stick to more compacted areas whenever possible. Evading and dealing with enemies. Awareness. Constantly scan your surroundings for enemy vehicles or signs of their presence, e.g., dust clouds, distant gunfire. Utilize any available radar or minimap to track enemy movements. Evasive maneuvers. Learn to perform quick turns and use obstacles to break line of sight with pursuing enemies. The Humvee is particularly adept at this. Practice using boost or other special abilities, if available, to gain a speed advantage. Strategic retreat. Sometimes, the best course of action is to disengage and find a better position. Don't hesitate to retreat if you are outnumbered or facing overwhelming firepower. Utilizing vehicle strengths. Use the strengths of each vehicle to your advantage in combat situations. The tank's firepower can be used to eliminate threats, while the Humvee can be used for flanking maneuvers or to draw enemy fire away from more vulnerable units, if applicable. Exploration and resource management. Thorough exploration. Take the time to explore the entire map, looking for hidden areas, supply caches, or strategic locations. Resource collection. If the game features resource collection, e.g., fuel, ammunition, repair parts, prioritize gathering these resources to ensure you can continue your mission effectively. Route planning. Before embarking on a mission, take a moment to study the map and plan your route, taking into account potential obstacles, enemy locations, and available resources. Advanced driving techniques. Drifting. Mastering the art of drifting can be useful for navigating tight corners at high speeds, especially with lighter vehicles like the Humvee. Practice initiating drifts by braking and turning sharply, then counter-steering to maintain control. Ramming. In certain situations, ramming smaller enemy vehicles with a heavier vehicle like a tank can be an effective tactic. However, be aware that this can also damage your own vehicle. Using the environment. Look for opportunities to use the environment to your advantage, such as using ramps to make jumps or using natural barriers to create choke points. By mastering these fundamental and advanced techniques, you'll be well on your way to dominating the desert roads in military vehicles driving. The game offers a unique blend of driving simulation and military action, providing hours of engaging and challenging gameplay. Its focus on realistic vehicle handling, diverse environments, and dynamic enemy encounters sets it apart from other games in the genre, offering an experience that is both thrilling and rewarding. So buckle up, Commander, and prepare to conquer the sands.